Hey there. So I'm gonna make this video about my understanding of history with Jewish community. I'm European. I was born in Lithuania. I have grandmother who's almost 100 years old. And I lived in the US now almost 20 years. And up until recently, I'd say more so this year, I never thought much about the Holocaust, and I haven't done too much research into World War II besides what I learned in high school, really in history class, which in Europe, I don't know if they teach a little bit different than here in the US. But recently we went to Nuremberg movie, and that kind of sparked back my curiosity to learn about a little bit more about the Holocaust and Jewish history. And I've always been in support of Israel. That doesn't mean that I am against or was against any sort of Arab or Muslim countries. There's good and bad people in all countries, and it's peace that we should strive for and coexistence. And in Israel, people coexist, Arabs and Jews. But especially in Palestine, there is some issues. There's some issues where they teach kids from young age to hate on Jews. You know, it's a bit barbaric. Hopefully they will become more educated and civilized, be less prone to believing that, you know, only the life after death matters, and this life, you know, if you murder a Jew, you don't have to. Here, it's not a sin, which is such a dangerous belief. Anyway, I am in support of Israel and Jewish people because, not just because I feel like I have a small DNA of Ashkenazi Jew, which is 0.7%, so not even 1%, but a little bit less than 1%. I'm like 86% Lithuanian and 15% Polish, and there's some other little bit, I think, Scandinavian and maybe Spanish, a couple percentages. I did that on 23andMe. But I always admired the tenacity and how Jewish people, you know, even going through such a difficult time, like constant persecution throughout centuries, you know, them being a minority, and then more recently going through Holocaust, how they always rebound and how they always are top winners of Nobel Prizes. You know, their world population of Jewish people is like 0.2%, but they have about 20% of all Nobel Prizes in economies, medicine, and writing and arts, a couple other categories. And they're 100 times more likely than any other average person to be Nobel Prize winner if they are Jewish descent. So what that shows, that they must have really good attitudes towards science, research, studying, discipline, family values. And results speak for themselves, you know. They're a civilized country that's trying to survive. And they are being still persecuted to this day, because I could not understand, like, why did Jews were persecuted? What did they do? Is it like historically because of the Bible says that they put Jesus on the cross and then they were, you know, taken out of their land, but then the Bible does say that they will be back to their land, which is in the current Israel, right? So like it's always been their land historically, so I don't know what people, are saying it's not their land. And when you look, it's really the Arabs that conquered more land than Jews. Jews never really conquered any land. They were just persecuted. So I just think they have very interesting culture. I don't know too much in depth about it, but I know they're good doctors, they're good economists, they're good lawyers. They are, I think, very low in crime in their communities. Of course, like I said, there's like good and bad apples everywhere, and there's probably people you don't like and like in each community. I'm just sharing kind of what I understood recently, what I didn't understand before. I didn't know how people didn't stop the Holocaust. But now looking how media portrays certain events and how they twist, their reality and the facts, I could see how Hitler was able to fool so many people in Nazi Germany that, we need to get rid of these minorities. They also persecuted gay people and other war prisoners, Russians and other people, right? But then Jews didn't really do anything. They were actually running their businesses. They were successful people, not doing anything wrong. But I think they needed a scapegoat. Nazi Germany needed to blame somebody because the other Germans were struggling. And when they took Jews to Nazi camps, a lot of Germans took over their home, their properties, their businesses. It's really, really sad. But the tenacity in Jewish community is just admirable. They're not sitting here saying, oh, we need reparations, we need, give us free stuff, They never succumb to the abuse. And even the ones that survived Holocaust, that were in the camps, but they survived later, went on to having productive lives, having families, raising good children, good kids. So this also proves that trauma alone is not the issue when people go bad ways. It's the culture. The culture is very important. But then, so these two things, what really I think Holocaust teaches us. And then it teaches us how the media and propaganda can really trick people into believing certain things, because even now you can see there is hate towards Jewish communities sometimes online, more so than any other communities, right? And I'm not defending or saying that, I'm right or wrong, but this is what I know. And in Lithuania, we had Jewish communities that were also taken out by the Germans into those camps. My grandmother saw herself how little kids were taken away. Really sad, It even made her not believe in God. She's like, how could God allow that? But that's actually what devil wants us. I think devil tests us. Well, the God maybe allows devil to test us how strong our faith is. And we need to still have faith, even bad things happening, bad atrocities happen. We need to believe that there will be peace. And we need to stay as an example of how we should handle the evil situations and not be quiet when we see the wrongdoings. And we need to stand up for what's right and equality and follow the laws. Now, not to a fault. You don't want to be good to a fault, foolish person that you'll be killed or taken advantage of. God also doesn't want that. He teaches us you need to protect yourself from somebody attacking you. Yes, turn the other cheek, but then also you need to be smart and walk away, move away from things that could harm you. So that is another thing that is important. But there's also good things happening. You know, there were people that were saving people in the background, in the undergrounds, and all these things. And I was inspired to support Israel. I bought this Artsa box, which is really cool. It has this authentic shalvati, which is manufactured by hand by people with physical disabilities. Made in Israel, no artificial flavors or ingredients, just natural herbs, all natural, like chamomile, spearmint, licorice, lemongrass, lavender, fennel, dandelion, all these great things. Dead sea salt scrub, this smells really good. It has lavender, all the minerals. There was cocoa powder, toffee, delicious. This picture, which I haven't opened yet, is like this artist in Israel makes in Jerusalem, and then we have this beautiful olive tree carving, and then there's a plate. So anyway, I just think that maybe people can see that there is, you know, there is huge tenacity, and they're just trying to survive and do the best they can and protect themselves, you know. And they've been gone through so much, so they're tired of suicide, you know, bombers. They're tired of their community being persecuted all the time, and probably will never stop, honestly. But it just shows tenacity, and I have respect for that. I also have respect how smart they are. So just wanted to come on here and make this video that I feel like there's somebody to be admired on, and not talk bad about. And in every culture there's people. There's a lot of Arab people I admire and countries, but this video is specifically about the Jewish community. You know, Buddhist, Hindu, there's people I admire that promote peace. There's a lot of, in Islam community, there's people that promote peace, and that's what we need more of. We need more of people that promote peace and unity and goodness in the world, and let's hope that can happen one day. Well, thanks for watching. You have a brilliant day.